This is Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thanks for joining us again. Our guest is Ian Parkinson. Mr. Parkinson is the sheriff for San Luis Obispo County. Sir, we thank you so much for joining us. I want to talk to you about our prisons and jails in California. As you know, as a result of a state budget crisis and a Supreme Court ruling, we are going to see a realignment of some of our prisoners from state prisons to county jails. Explain that to us. What will be happening?
Yes, those two processes are really married together. On the state side, we have a reduction needed in the state prison system. So what they're going to do is redirect prisoners that would be sentenced to state prison to county jails. So they're low-level offenders.
So let's talk about that, because as we know, Sacramento is infamous for providing unfunded mandates to the counties. But I guess in this case, they are sending funding down so that those prisoners redirected to county jails, there will be money attached to them.
Correct, and the governor's working on some constitutional protections for that money, but that is a grave concern to the counties, that we're not getting sufficient money. Now, under the plan currently, there appears to be sufficient money for this first year, so we're pleased with that. It's just the ongoing
And I understand that in that first year, at least in San Luis Obispo County, you're going to see about $6 million. And I'm wondering, is that enough to satisfy the obligations that the county will now be taking on, be it incarceration, be it probation, be it parole?
Yeah, you know, we think so, but this is the challenge. This is new territory for all of us. So I think this is an evaluation period for all of us, and then we'll decide if we need to renegotiate with the state and try to get more funding if it's necessary. So for sure.
Now we know that the state prisons are overcrowded. The Supreme Court called them inhumane. That's pretty powerful language. But there are some county jails that are overcrowded as well. And I understand that even in San Luis Obispo County, the women's jail has been seen as overcrowded. The health facility, there are some concerns on the men's side. So what are you doing to make sure that that doesn't become a problem if you are now taking new prisoners from the state?
Right, and that's a problem. Right now, currently, we have about 43 female beds, and we're running about 70 to 80 in custody. We just got authorized back on February 22nd to build a new female jail and medical facility, which is largely funded through AB 900 money.
Which is?
It's a assembly bill in order to cover the expanded use of the jail. It's not really associated with realignment. It was pre-realignment. It was re-entry, and we were going to have a re-entry facility in the county, so we qualified for $25 million toward that project.
So will the jail be built quickly enough to satisfy the burden that's about to fall upon San Luis Obispo County?
It won't, but because these numbers will actually start coming to us after October 1st and sentence, we'll get them gradually. So we're taking some steps in order to accommodate that. So we'll be ready for it, not to the level that we'd like to be with that new facility, but we'll be ready.
I want to talk to you about internal affairs. It's a word, two words that we don't really know what they mean, but if you dig deeply, it deals with really policing the police department. And interestingly, in the county, the sheriff prior to you didn't really have much of an internal affairs department, but you've changed that.
Correct.
Tell me about that.
Well, they did it a little differently then. I felt the need with the department of about 400 that we need to police our own, and it's something that I heard a lot from the public. They need to know that there's transparency. They need to know that we'll deal with it. So what I did is I brought in a retired Los Angeles Police Department commander.
They have plenty of issues down there.
They do, and they're very experienced at
it.
So brought him in to head up the unit. It's doing a fantastic job. We've got it out publicly. We've developed new policies, procedures, ways of tracking it, really to open back up to the public that we are willing to own up to the mistakes that we make and take care of business.
Ian Parkinson, thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. He is the sheriff of San Luis Obispo County. I'm Brad Pomerantz. We thank you so much for joining us. Now we're going to send you back to HLN.